TKFM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome into 6 p.m. in Lincoln with former Nebraska linebacker Chris Kolarevic.
Intercepted, ball game over. Picked off by Chris Kolarevic.
This is 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic, sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into 6 p.m. here with Chris Kolarevic. I am Jake Bachman. Chris is not in quite yet, but he is on his way, making his way from Omaha right now. So he will join us here in just a little bit. Of course, as he is coaching out there in Iowa, just across the border. So don't worry, didn't have to go too far for it. But we will see him here in just a little bit. And we can have our normal 6 p.m. in Lincoln Talks, as I'm excited to see kind of what is in the latest in his world. Always has an interesting guest if he decides to do that. Or, you know, when he talks about what he's doing now as a coach, you know, his first year of coaching there, some JUCO football in Iowa. So we will see how things are going, how things are progressing. It can certainly change your own perspective as being a former athlete. I'm sure that helps him in that role. But to kind of play the other side, right? You know, go from the recruited to the recruiter, I should say. And just kind of see everything from that size, because when you're playing, obviously, you just if you do something wrong, you'd love to be pointed out, and then you can correct that, and then maybe get some more playing time. And it doesn't always happen that way, you know. Sometimes you do something wrong, it's corrected, and then you get less playing time. And so it could just kind of be interesting to see it from the other side. I'm sure to where, you know, yes, you want to have the feeling of improving players and getting them better, but you also kind of have to win and do what's best for the team and all that. So we'll let him talk a little bit more about that, but I am fascinated by it altogether. But as he is coming from Omaha, it does deem worth talking a little bit about the College World Series and what's kind of gone on there this weekend so far. It's been a good opening, I think, for the College World Series. Of course, all that always depends on who you're cheering for, but Nebraska, obviously not in the mix. There is one Big Ten team in UCLA out there. I'm not sure if they're getting Big Ten welcome from Nebraska. Of course, they're new from the Pac-12 being maybe one of the reasons why. I'm not sure how much Nebraska fans would cheer on Michigan or anybody like that anyways. But also because they played Murray State, who is kind of the darling of the bracket, the underdog, if you will. So that probably didn't get him going in the right way. But let's go ahead and start to review a little bit, as we did have our first elimination today. So I did want to make everybody aware of that as we go into the second game. Should be tipping off any time here from Omaha. And I'm just a big fan of the College World Series. I think it highlights Nebraska, not just Omaha, but the state of Nebraska, but certainly Omaha itself. And it's something, you know, I just love especially the trends of kind of go Omaha, or, you know, go Tigers, you know, all that stuff to kind of blend it in. And it's interesting because I've been to other facilities across the United States. I was thinking specifically of when I went and visited Cal State Fullerton, and, you know, all that way out there, understanding that the goal is at a place like Cal State Fullerton, who's having a historic baseball program, that the goal is to win championships, right? And is to compete for the top prize. But it was just weird. And it caught my attention when I visited there a few years ago to see, you know, there's a specific sign about getting to Omaha. And you know, again, it makes sense. But, you know, from the outside world, you kind of think, okay, I should say when you're close to it, when you're a Nebraskan, you just kind of think, I wonder how big that is. But it's just part of the culture of college baseball, is to have this opportunity at the College World Series. Which, again, people could have debates about whether you liked it at you know, Rosenblatt before or now. I've definitely heard the talks of it becoming a little bit more expensive. I know that, if you want to get a ticket, and just a little bit more corporate than maybe what it used to be, feeling more community based back then. And that's pretty much, I would say, mostly a universal opinion from anybody that's been to both sides of it. But of course, there's positives of kind of a more a professional approach, I suppose, as well. And I've just had a blast every time I went out there. I've worked at the College World Series over several weeks in the past, I think 6 times. So I've spent a considerable amount out there and kind of watching it and seeing the excitement for it every year. And so it's just a fun event whenever it comes around this time of year to kind of think about. And if you haven't been, you've got to make it out there. I mean, it's just, again, some of these early games, especially when everybody's still involved, you've got 8 fan bases out there blending. And it's just kind of fun to do your own counting from that side of it too, because certainly some fan bases will travel. They'll be excited to be there. You kind of get a little taste of their culture if you go out and tailgate a little bit or see kind of the chants that they do or the jerseys that they wear, all that sort of thing. And then there will be some other schools that maybe would be somewhat predictable that maybe don't get as excited to go out to the College World Series. At least a majority of their fan base does not make that travel. So again, it's always interesting. And I've been told for years that LSU, and again, sometimes I say these things are pretty much universal because I've just talked to so many people about it, and a lot of them like the old College World Series feel. The other almost universal phrase that I hear out there, or when I ask somebody, who's got the best fans, what's the most exciting team to come to the College World Series, naturally you think of that if you're Omaha, the host site, and it's I've been told by everybody that's been there, LSU, without a doubt. LSU kind of brings the life to the party. Not that you can't have a party without them, but also they also travel at times. They can just come to Omaha. Some of them, I'm not going to say a huge group of them, but some of them just come to Omaha one way or the other. They want to go to the College World Series because their team makes it enough and they've made enough of a tradition out of it that they like to come out there. So it's just fun to see the LSUs of the world there. So this would be a good year if you haven't done it to go out and try to check out the College World Series. Of course, at 93.7 The Ticket, we spend some time out there as well, specifically at the Blur Tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha, which is just across the street at the corner of 12th and Cass, but just very close to the stadium. Maybe 4 minute walk from the stadium. So it's a great place to be. If you want to go and party there with us, I wouldn't argue against it either. We are definitely telling you it is fun. We'll have some of the ticket hosts in there, I think, from Monday through Wednesday. Now, of course, we already did Friday, but for Monday through Wednesday, we'll be out there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it does cost a little bit to get in there because it's just a lot of fun. There's 18 TVs showing live baseball games, multiple seating options, including a hammock, bar and buffet that is all inclusive with the tickets that you purchase through Blur events. So I'll go ahead and say it even today. I should say going into next week. Pretty good deal out there. You can get, depending on the day, lunch, dinner buffet, soda, water, cash bar, all that for $64. If you want some wine to include in there, you get up to the $94 range, and then mixed drinks and all of what I was saying: lunch, dinner buffet, soda, water, beer, and wine for $114 through June 21st. So it is definitely a good time out there. If that sounds like something you'd like to do, buy tickets at the door, or more preferably, please purchase at www.blurevents.com/Omaha. But it is just a good time out there. I've said all this because I was going to tell you guys about the score as well, because there has been one team eliminated. That was a little teaser. Now you've listened to me. Now I'll just go ahead and give it away. So we start on Friday. Oregon State beat Louisville 4-3, and Coastal Carolina beat Arizona 7-4. That set up today's elimination game between Louisville and Arizona, and the Wildcats are our first team out of the bracket. They lose 8-3 today to Louisville, so Louisville survives. They move on. Arizona, the Wildcats and their fans, well, they'll just have to limp back to Arizona, I suppose, and hopefully they had a good time. Maybe some of them will stick around, but a quick exit from the Wildcats this year. If you missed the other games, by the way, on Saturday, yesterday, UCLA did beat Murray State. Again, Murray State kind of the darling of this tournament. UCLA, the Big Ten team, they beat them 6-4. So Murray State will have an elimination game to play tomorrow. They will take on Arkansas, who dropped the nightcap of last night's game, which was an expensive ticket to get in, as we had two SEC behemoths in baseball battling it out. LSU did beat Arkansas 4-1. So today, again, the only game so far, Louisville with an 8-3 win over Arizona, sending them home. Now Oregon State and Coastal Carolina getting it going there in the top of the first. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that throughout the remainder of the evening and let you know if anything interesting comes from that. Again, then Monday we will have Arkansas in Murray State will be the earlier game, 1 p.m. tomorrow to look forward to. And then UCLA and LSU will be the late game at 6. Once again, very interesting because Arkansas and Murray State will be an elimination game. And I know a lot of people out there are cheering for Dave Van Horn in Arkansas, maybe to finally get it done. This is his 23rd year, if you can believe it, out there in Fayetteville with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Of course, had made that transition from Lincoln, Nebraska, where he coached Nebraska and really set them up for some good years. Mike Anderson took over and kept that momentum going. But Dave Van Horn, definitely a legend here at Nebraska, a legend there at Arkansas, but they have not been able to quite win the College World Series. This is the 8th time that they've made it there. He was asked recently if he was going to get close to retirement. 23 years at any one job is a long time, but he's getting up there in age, and he says he's coming back. Absolutely not retiring yet. So we'll see more out of Dave Van Horn in the future. But hopefully, at least for me, I'm cheering for Arkansas to make a little bit of a run here. And in fact, I'd cheer for them all the way because I'd love to see Dave Van Horn get that done. Arkansas as a program, by the way, doesn't have a championship either. They're known as one of the best teams in college baseball, just one of the best programs in general, yet do not have a national championship. So definitely in the category of best programs without a championship, they are near the top. So that'll be fun to kind of follow. College World Series, again, fun to follow, and we will be there from 93.7 The Ticket out there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at Blur Tailgate at the Hilton Omaha at the corner of 12th and Cass. We'd love to see you out there and have some fun with us as well. It's been a good baseball weekend, especially for me, because my Red Sox swept the Yankees. I don't talk a whole lot of baseball, but when I get the opportunity to go ahead and brag my Red Sox beating the Yankees, they needed it. They were coming into this weekend down 2 games under 500. So sweeping the mighty Yankees definitely helped. The Yankees didn't need those wins anyways. They're still atop the division, but the Red Sox now making it a little bit interesting, at least compared to what it could have been, certainly, for their season. A couple other things to get through as I just load my screen and get even more upset. Well, I was excited because the Red Sox had won and beat the Yankees and swept them. But breaking news here from Jeff Passan on ESPN, the San Francisco Giants are acquiring all-star slugger Rafael Devers from the Boston Red Sox. Sources tell ESPN an out-of-nowhere blockbuster deal described. Boston is getting Jordan Hicks and much more, the right-handed pitcher Jordan Hicks and much more for that trade. So we'll see what happens there. Again, as a Red Sox fan, I don't know if I love this out of the gate. Rafael Devers, one of the better Red Sox over the last couple of years. You could definitely argue the best on the team in general, right up there, Duran and some of those guys. But even right now, I think he's second on the team in his average. So that's very interesting. He's kind of had this long. You wonder if this kind of comes from his side because he's had this long argument with the Red Sox every time they're trying to kind of figure out a spot for him to play. They arguing whether he should be a DH or not. They end up trading him. So that will be interesting. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to take a quick break because Chris did just get in the building. So we'll take a quick break on 6 p.m. and Lincoln, get Chris ready to go. And we'll talk some more sports coming up here on 6 p.m. in Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket.
Summer is here, and it's time for Acres postseason planter parts sale. Save big on all in-stock John Deere planter parts. Get an automatic 10% off your purchase, or get 15% off when you spend $5,000 or more. Buy over $10,000 and get a whopping 20% off. Visit your local Acres location today and stock up on planter parts and save thousands. Hurry, this sale ends August 31st or while supplies last. Acres, your John Deere dealer.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back in studio. Can you hear me? Is my mic working? All right. Hey, I apologize to all the listeners that we were a little bit late. We got stuck in traffic. That summer traffic in Omaha got us. We got Darius Moore on the show. How's it going? Happy Father's Day to all those celebrating. Before we get going on the show and all the topics, I just want to get started by giving a huge shout out to my dad, John Kolarevic. I'm not with him today, but he's on the boat. He's enjoying Lake Michigan. He's with my mom and my brother. I couldn't be up there to celebrate with him, but just want to give a shout out to him because I wouldn't be the human that I am today without his influence and without his support in my life. He never missed one college game that I ever played in. When I was growing up, he took me to extra camps, came to all my games. His support meant the world to me, and I literally would not be the person that I am today without him. And I just want to give a shout out to my dad. And if you want to say some words about yours, you can go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to my pops. Happy Father's Day. One thing that I really want to take, that I have taken from my pops was, the work ethic, discipline, determination, right? Because his story is kind of the same as, it's similar to mine as far as having to work for everything that you have. Just a little bit of background about my pops. His name's Daryl Moore. He's originally from the South Side Projects of Chicago, right? He grew up in the Robert Taylor homes. I mean, last time I was home, he was like, yeah, bro, like, I don't know how I made it. Me and all my siblings, seeing people thrown from 12-story windows out and bouncing on the ground, seeing people's, we call it splitting your wig, right? That means like your head's busted wide open, and just the stuff that he's seen is very traumatic. And for him to overcome those obstacles, keep his head down and grind through, the sport of basketball. He ended up playing at the University of Iowa. It's truly inspiring to me. That's my number one hero. Shout out to you, Pops, and everything. Well, majority of things that I instill in myself today was because of him, and that's something that I try to instill into my players as well. And once the day comes, my kids as well.
Yeah, it's a major blessing to have a dad that you can really learn a lot from.
Mm-hmm.
It's really irreplaceable, and I've been so blessed in my life to have a dad that not only did great things in his own life, but then taught me a lot of great things too.
What's one thing that's really stuck with you that your pops either showed you, taught you, or like told you?
One thing that I just picked up from him in general was that you have to go take what you want. And if you want something, you have to go take it. Nobody's going to give it to you. Mm-hmm. He grew up in a small town, even smaller than the one we grew up in. He grew up in Cadillac, Michigan. And then he moved up to Traverse City when he graduated college.
Mm-hmm.
And he just hustled. We grew up on a dirt road, and he just hustled for everything that he had. He started multiple businesses and built them to the point where he was able to really take care of his family and really take care of a lot of people and all his employees, because he hustled and he went and took what he wanted out of life.
Right.
And not only that, but he also took the time to spend a lot of time with me and my brother and my mom, which is hard to do when you are building a business like that or multiple businesses like that, when you are so busy and you got dozens and dozens of people all needing your time, and you're financially supporting all these people to still go to all your son's football games and his skiing races and still take the time to go take them on trips and spend time with your kids. That's hard to do. And I even appreciate it more now as I've gotten older, because I know how hard it is when you have a lot on your plate to still make time for the people around you. Yeah. And I've grown to appreciate it even more as I've gotten older, that you have to go take what you want. And that's really what he showed me. And it was that consistency, that keep attacking it every day, and the consistency of your approach to, regardless of whether things are going good or bad, because there were bad times and there was times when things did not look good, to keep approaching it with the same intensity and same approach that you've been approaching it with the entire time, consistently. And that's what I learned from him.
And how did that shape you into who you are right now? Like in what situations where either whether it's on the football field in life, where I call it being having a funk, like you're in the funk, deep darkness, whatever.
Yeah.
And that moment that you share with your pops popped up in your head.
I could just use one example. I remember after I went through a lot of hard things when I was playing football, whether it was injuries, whether it was coaching challenges. Our time at Nebraska was extremely challenging. And I remember one time specifically, we lost to Northwestern. And that was one of the lowest moments of a lot of our careers, particularly mine. Really failing publicly on TV, where everybody's watching and everybody you've ever known is watching. And I felt like I didn't play my best. And it was frustrating that the team lost. And I left that game, and it was that was the first game of the season. So we had another 11 games to play.
Right.
And I remember leaving that game and being so discouraged just after one game. And I remember he was the one that got me out of that because I just texted him on the way home, like, I'm not doing well right now. I'm in a funk. And he just texted me, you come way too far to give up. And you come way too far to give up now because you put so much time and so much energy into it. And you're going to let one little failure slow you down or let you get discouraged. You're going to let one little bump in the road make you stop. It should just propel you. Every little failure, every little issue that you have, everything that you go through should propel you to new heights. And I remember watching him grow as a human going through those type of things. And he developed that mindset and I adopted it as I got older.
No, that's great. You know, I still incorporate that into my life too. Or even when I played, you know, there's a saying that goes, I had a purpose long before somebody else had an opinion. Right.
Mhm.
So I really don't care what anybody else thinks at that point. I think failure is good, bro. I think everybody needs to fail. And I think everybody needs to see the bigger picture.
No question.
If I had if I were to create a version of Darius like Sims, you know the game Sims?
Mhm.
My sister loves that game, bro. I don't get it. It's like, you know, the same thing over and over again. But if I was creating a sim of Darius Moore, right?
Yeah.
I would ask myself, what would I put him through if I wanted him to succeed at the highest level? Would I want the easier route for him? Would I want to just give him $1 million cash and say, do what you want with it? Or would I show him how to become a millionaire so he can multiply it? Oh, and so he can do it again if he loses it all. You know what I mean? So I agree with that, bro.
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but that's that character development. And
Yeah.
it sounds so cliche, but you do have to go through things in order to figure out who you are. Because you come out of the womb and you really don't know who you are. Like you have to go through and be put in circumstances where you have to kind of have your back against the wall or be in hard circumstances and figure out who you are and how you show up in those circumstances and figure out what your character is. And that's how you do it, is being in those tough times. So we were talking about Father's Day.
Yeah.
What's your dad up to today?
Yeah, so actually my pops is in Des Moines right now at a basketball tournament. So he has this business called Court 45. He does a whole bunch of training.
Okay.
He started some AAU teams up in the state
Alright.
of Iowa too. And yeah, he's spending his Father's Day at a basketball tournament.
okay.
And you know, we spent time with him on the phone earlier. His Father's Day gift, I can't say it yet because it's coming next week, but it's hilarious, bro. I love Father's Day, man. Like it's that one day where you can actually kind of express, and I get emotional talking about my pops.
Yeah, same. I sent him a big long text this morning. I talked to him on the phone.
And it's strictly emotion, bro, because like, how do you know how to become a man if I don't have somebody to show me?
Bingo.
You know, we talked about trials and tribulations, right?
Yeah.
If my pops didn't go through those struggles, how did he turn me into who I am today?
That's a really good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that man is ball his life, I guess, for him. So
yeah, I think the leader or your dad, the person that's in front of you, he kind of takes a lot of the bullets for you. He kind of takes a lot of the things that maybe you don't have to experience them yourself. He kind of learns a lot of the lessons the hard way so that he can pass them on and teach them to you so you maybe don't have to learn them.
Yeah.
He's kind of the front runner, the one that's in front he's kind of a shield in a way where he can kind of learn things for you and pass them along. So if you have a dad that has been through those kind of things, it's really, really beneficial to be able to learn that from him.
Exactly. And I don't see it just as like a father. I don't see Father's Day as just a my blood dad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some other people see Father's Day, it might be tragic to them. Their pops may have passed, you know. Some dads may have had kids that passed away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just like that kid that called me earlier on the phone who FaceTimed me, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, bro, he lost his mom 3 days before the natty. He doesn't know who was like his pops is in the picture. He had to take care of his nephew who's like 3 or 4 years old. And this kid is 18, 19 years old, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he called me today because, like I said, bro, I'm just trying to be that big bro for our kids. You know what I mean? And that's the role that you stepped into and that you have quickly realized after being here is Father's Day, bro, can be anybody who you look up to, bro, who's shown you the ropes in life, who's taken those bullets, as you said, for you. You know, all you got to do is just listen. That's kind of the tough part. But
hey, sometimes I was a bad listener growing up. I'll say it. I was a terrible listener.
That age, my dad says he hates teenagers. 18, like 18, 19, really 20, bro.
You go through a phase where you go through a phase where Like, obviously, you don't need to listen to everything somebody says, but you go through a phase where you want to do the exact opposite. That was the phase I went
like I
through.
know everything that I'm doing
Like,
right
you
now.
get past that phase and you don't listen to everything necessarily as you get past that phase, but you listen to some things and you're not directly opposing them all the time. Like, you go every younger kid I think goes through a phase where they're like directly opposing every idea, which
got
is funny.
selective hearing.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna do the opposite of what you said because just
because I want to try it myself.
I
see
used
what
to be
happens.
that way too,
Yeah.
bro. I mean,
So
I get it.
so on that note, we got probably 10 more minutes in this segment. We can start talking about the coaching thing a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you, and I'd like to talk about it too. I want to hear about, first of all, what made you want to get into coaching, and then how your first year went. And you can kind of run with that and take it how you want to take it.
All right, bet. I love that question. That's a great question. So how did I get into coaching? It's kind of something that I didn't found, is something that found me, right? So when I talk about having a purpose, I'm a believer in right, in God and in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I think that God showed me what I wanted to do through a job that I didn't like.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I took a year and a half off. I sold cars at Village Point Toyota for a year and a half, right? And I was good at it. I made good money. But each and every day, bro, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I need to be around football. I love football. I'm kind of depressed right now because I miss it. You know what I mean? And I'm still in shape. Like, I'm still working out. I'm training in the gym, not just working out, but actually training. You know what I mean? Because that mindset never goes away. So, a year and a half later, I'm like, dog, I got to get into coaching somehow because I just got to be around football. I was more of like an intelligent player too. And I talked to my boy Coach Finney, who was my DB coach at Iowa Western, right? He just accepted the job at South Dakota. He's their DB's coach now. I hit him up, whatever. A couple months went by, and all of a sudden, bro, I kid you not, he calls me. I'm like, what's up, Finney? He's like, hey, bro, I'm going to Cincinnati. You need to come take my job. And I'm like, all right, when do I start? And, I had a couple other like GA opportunities that I just I didn't see myself growing there. It's more like a lateral move.
Yeah.
So I seen this one, and Coach Black called me, Stroh called me, and they actually wanted me. And that's something that I didn't have in a minute, somewhere that somebody actually wanted me.
Yeah.
And by then, I just listened to that voice in my head or that gut feeling. And I was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And although, the situation is not ideal, I believe that I would do this for free. Right. So if I do it for free, is work really work? You know what I mean? I wake up every day and I coach football. It's not my job. I just happen to coach football. And it's a blessing, bro. So that's really how I got into football. And your second question was talk about like the first year.
Yeah, first year, how it went. The first, just the intro to it, everything.
Let's talk about some adversity.
All right, let's talk about it.
So, first year as a head coach, right? You're in JUCO. People already know the JUCO grind, right? People already know the types of players that we get, which is not everybody, but it's more. You have to spend more time with the players, get to know them, on a deeper level. You have to be patient with them. Some players may not know how to handle their emotions, right? First year was a struggle. Coach Finney from earlier, right? Goated, legend. He's going to be the next Bill Belichick, better, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loved him. Now they got this new young DB's coach, and I coached Hunter Deckers, and Deckers was a year younger than me. So it's like we're the same age.
Right.
Like they're like, bro, I ain't got to listen to you. You're like my big bro, and not even on that level yet. So it was difficult establishing my culture there. And that's something that I feel like I'm still establishing, but I feel like I had the foundation to it right now.
Yeah.
Just, trying to get them to listen to me. And I told them boys, I said, hey, how many DBs are out on the field at all times? 4. How many players do I need in a game? 4. I said, I will play with 4 DBs for the whole season. And guess what? I play with 5. And that's something that's not really, heard of. But it was great because it showed them that you have to earn everything, that nothing is given, It showed them that you had to buy into the culture that I'm providing for you because we are on the same team, my man. I had 2 goals in mind. 1, we're going to win this natty, and 2, I'm going to get you out of here at a school you like, and you're going to go kill it, and you're going to do big and great things, right? So that was really the toughest part, man. But, we fought through adversity. We came to a common ground. We worked the hardest on the field, first one's on the field, last one's out putting in extra work all the time, consistently over and over and over again, right? So we had that, accumulation of hard work. And pretty much once the natty hit, you just lay it all out on the field, bro. And that's kind of when we finally got it. In that L that we took, we lost to Hutchinson by 5, was a learning lesson. This is kind of contradictory. I don't know if a coach should say this.
Okay.
But as a team, we didn't deserve to win. And I will strongly say that and boldly say that. As a DB group, just not being selfish, this is just, my group. I love them boys, right? We do everything together. I feel like we felt they didn't, as a team, we didn't deserve to win it, bro. We had too many individuals. So I told them, bro, we didn't lose that game December 18th. When did we lose it?
Fall camp.
We lost in fall camp, bro. We lost it when in fall camp, you over here fighting with your boy and the play's still going on, but you want to throw hands on the sideline. Now we get 2 players ejected. What happened against Butler, right? So we didn't lose that game December 18th, bro. And when you came, you kind of came at the perfect time to transition, right? So that's kind of, I guess my story is kind of progressing into now. When you come in, right? Let me ask you, what's the first thing that you notice? What is some culture shock, either culture shock instances or kind of what is your opinion so far? You've been here for a semester, been here in the spring. What do you think, bro?
The first thing that was a culture shock was the amount of people on the team. I didn't realize how many guys would be on the team for how few coaches there was, which has been great because I think it gives you an opportunity as a coach to really have a lot of opportunity to coach.
Right.
But it was definitely different where there was just a lot of guys and at first it was just learning names. Like just figuring out what everybody's name was so I'm able to coach the guy. And that was the first challenge I had to get over. For me, we could talk about why I got into coaching and everything, but I really want to touch on I've really enjoyed the JUCO experience because it's made me feel that love again for the sport. I spent a lot of time struggling with football, with injuries, coaches' problems, and I really got burnt out and I really got sick of the sport that I love. And being around JUCO, being around that competition and just for the love of the sport, for nothing else. And everybody's there for the love of the sport. It made me start to love the sport again. And that for me has been the biggest thing overall, positive, negative, biggest takeaway that I've had is it's made me love the sport again. Just because of the pureness of it, the competition of it. And it's been a really good experience.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Has there been anything where, like I said, culture shock moments or anything? You're like, whoa, like, dang, this is in Division One.
Culture shock moments. Trying to think. Nothing's coming to my head like specifically right now. Nothing's popping up in my head right now.
That's because you're a JUCO kid. Everything's normal.
There was, I have been a lot of places. Like I've been a lot of different teams, so I've seen a lot of different things, and I met a lot of different people. But because I could sit here and say, yeah, we had a fight or two, and
that's football.
But I was thinking about that. I could say that, but I've also been on a lot of teams, and I've had a lot of different. I've seen a lot of different fights between a lot of different people, so it's not that weird.
Right.
There hasn't been anything that has been that much weird or culture shock to me, to be honest with you. There just hasn't been.
Yeah.
It's just it's a program with a lot more turnover. There's a lot of talent, but there's a lot of turnover. So it's hard to develop culture because you have a lot more turnover. So you don't have the same guys that can enforce the culture. So it's harder to develop culture in the long term, I think. You can do it. It's just more challenging because you don't have guys there as long. And you have to develop relationships with guys very quickly because there's just a lot of them.
Yeah. And in order to combat that, because I agree 100%, in order to combat that, the culture that you build with your guys, think about it, bro. My DBs who've been here for a year already, right? I got some new guys coming in July 7th. Who do you think is going to show them the ropes? Although it's been a year. Because think about it, bro. You're a freshman. You haven't deserved anything. Do you even deserve a jersey yet? What number are you? Are you on the team? Where are you at on the roster? You know what I mean? So you have a freshman that doesn't know what to do or what to expect. That's up for our upperclassmen, JUCO upperclassmen, right? To show them that culture and how to show them the ropes. Like, hey, bro, let me take you under my wing, bro.
Yeah.
Come with me. Like, let's do this. Let's go work out.
You talk about father figures. You talk about just maybe not even a father figure necessarily, but just somebody that you look up to, like another man that you look up to. Those guys that are a year or two older that have just been where you are currently at a year prior, being around that is really valuable.
Oh, it's
I mean, they can just help you they just show you where the roadblocks are. They just show you where they put some bumpers on you and say, hey, look out for this, look out for that. This will help you. This will hurt you. They can just help you out with those little things that they just experience themselves.
Yeah. And I think that's where we excel at too. Bro, I kid you not. Tim Roberson, he just got he just went on a visit to Memphis not too long ago. Yeah, he picked up his 5th Division I offer. He got his offer from USF a couple months ago. He's telling kids, I'm telling you, like, they're like an inch off from the line, right? The start line. I like their foot on the line, right? Just discipline stuff. Anytime that it's even a centimeter off, he's the first one. Hey, bro. Hey, bro, get it to the line.
Yeah.
Or he'll I kid you not, I'll be if I don't catch it, bro, he'll start to drill over. And that's the type of leadership that I love.
That's what you need on a team. I had Bill Bush on the show, and he was talking about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson when he coached them at LSU. And he said that they were like that too. And his quote, the quote that I really took with me was, when your best players are your hardest workers, you have culture. And that's what defines culture, is when your best players are those hardest workers, because ultimately your best players define the culture. Whether they're hard workers or whether they're not. If they're not hard workers, the culture is going to be defined by that, and vice versa. So those best players are going to define the culture. So when those guys or multiple people are your hardest workers, the rest of everybody else is going to follow suit. If they're keeping everybody else in check, everybody else will follow suit. And that's why I think it's so valuable to have a guy like that on your team, or multiple guys like that on your team.
Exactly.
That's why a Tim Tebow can come in and have a generational impact, just because he was that type of leader.
And with, like you said, we have a fast turnover rate, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not doing your job, guess what, bro? I'm recruiting class of 2026 right now. What's up? You want it or not?
Literally.
I'm gonna show you how to get the job.
Yeah.
Want it or not?
Hey, we got to go to break real quick. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Spring sports are here, and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at Nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at Nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at Nebco.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Summer is here, and it's time for Acres postseason planter parts sale. Save big on all in-stock John Deere planter parts. Get an automatic 10% off your purchase, or get 15% off when you spend $5,000 or more. Buy over $10,000 and get a whopping 20% off. Visit your local Acres location today and stock up on planter parts and save thousands. Hurry, this sale ends August 31st or while supplies last. Acres, your John Deere dealer.
People always ask me, hey, Livy, what fuels you? Passion, competition, the pursuit of greatness? None of those things. Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their cooked-to-order chicken fingers always fills my tank, and the crinkle-cut fries and Texas toast are the perfect top-off for the perfect road trip. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic, sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the show. We're in our second segment. Well, we're in our third segment. We missed the first segment. We got in some traffic. I want to give a big shout out to my dog, Jake, for doing the first segment, taking care of business for me.
Absolutely.
I want to apologize to the listeners, but also say you're welcome because you got to listen to Jake for 10 minutes, not me. So I got Darius Moore on the show right now. And just for anybody that's listening that doesn't know Darius, Darius played in Nebraska. Before he played in Nebraska, he was at Iowa Western. He was a defensive back. And now for the last year and a half has been coaching at Iowa Western. He's running the DB room. And I recently joined him on that staff about 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. So in the first segment, we talked about, first of all, Father's Day and how our fathers have impacted us, which I think we needed to talk about. I wish I could be at home with my dad on this day. And I know he's having a great day. Shout out to my dad. And we also got to talk a little bit about just why we're coaching, why it is so important to us, and kind of our experience with this so far, as we're pretty new into it. So that's kind of what we had touched on. Is there anything you want to add to what we have been talking about? Anything off the top of your head?
As far as the experience so far?
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, it's the best place for me to start. And I think I can't speak for you.
No, I feel that.
But it's the best place to start because you're not a GA.
Yeah.
Right. And for those of you who don't know the position of a GA, just being cutthroat, straightforward. If you're not friends with, or if you don't know who your position or anybody on that staff, you're the, how do I explain? You're the punk. So you're basically like the grocery getter.
We don't cuss on the show, but that was the word you
Yeah,
used.
you're the coffee getter,
Yeah,
right?
the
Go get
coffee
my
guy.
coffee, right?
Yeah.
And
The errand boy.
Yeah, it's not like that everywhere, but
Yeah,
that's
it depends on the situation.
It does.
Like a
And-
GA is you're going to be drawing scout cards. You're going to be breaking down film. You're going to be on the computer a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of analysis. You're not going to be doing a lot of direct coaching with the players.
Yeah. And that's a great way to start in order for you to build your career.
Absolutely.
But it's kind of like you got to take that bullet. And the fact that we didn't have to do that is really a blessing.
Yeah.
The fact that, we had the opportunity to run our own position groups is not heard of, especially first year as a coach. You know what I mean? Not only that, bro, but at the back-to-back national championship contenders.
The actual experience that you get is just a different level.
It really
because
is.
For me personally, I'm somebody I really only learn through experience. I don't really learn through theory or memorization or trying to learn just for the sake of learning. I'll learn I guess I could learn a little bit if I just force it into my brain. But really, truly, I learn from experience, trying things out, testing different ways of doing things, putting my heart and soul into something and see it work or maybe not work. And that's how I learn. And that's why it's been so great to be where we're at.
Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't start anywhere else, bro. And I can't wait to see you because even though you've only been here for a short amount of time, like not even a semester, you have had a great impact on these players, especially when they come to you individually, because you obviously have all this experience, playing pro football. Like you're part of the 2%, bro. And they really look up to you for that. And I don't know if you know how much they look up to you.
They've had a huge impact on me too. And I always say that, like truly those players in that place have made me fall in love with the sport that I have loved since I was 5. Football, I say this all the time, but football is the love of my life. I've studied this game. Like I've studied it. I've played it since I was 5 years old. It's been all I really ever thought about or cared about as far as a career goes, anything like that. And I fell out of love with the sport. And those players and those coaches in that place have made me fall back in love with it, which has been such a blessing for me.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear, bro. I'm glad you can be a part of it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got big things coming.
Yeah.
We got big things coming.
Yeah, we do. We do. But no, it's been a fantastic experience coaching under Coach Stroh.
Yeah.
Because he's one of one.
Vaughn and I talked about Coach Stroh quite a bit on our show 2 weeks ago. And the thing that I said about Coach Stroh that I really appreciated immediately with him was his consistency. That word, as a leader, consistency really can change a culture because you know exactly what you're going to get out of him every day. You know exactly who he's going to be, the way he's going to treat his players, the way he's going to treat you every day. It's not a roller coaster. You don't have to walk on eggshells around him.
Right.
It's very consistent. And that's why I think he's had so much success there is because of that consistency.
I agree. And that comes along with Coach Black too.
Agreed.
He's another fan. Like his play calls, bro, on the field are absurd. Like we'll be up doing, me and him will go over the scout card, or he'll have me do this thing in Excel, which is actually pretty awesome. Bro, I'm telling you, going through all the first and P and 10 plays, first and 10, second and long, second and medium, second and short, all the way third down, fourth down.
Yeah.
Bro, and I kid you not, this dude like knows the situations like the back of his hand.
He's got some of the best coaching instincts I've been around. Truly.
Bro,
I mean, he's been there. He's been the defense coordinator there for 16 years, I think.
Yeah.
And had a ton of success. You can see the success that he's had. And his instincts are so sharp. Like he knows exactly what to call in the right situation. And I've learned a ton just from being around him. Like I played. There's really only so much about coaching you can learn from playing. But being around him, I've picked up so much just in the couple months that I've been around him. It's been amazing to see.
Yeah, he's a fantastic defensive coordinator. And I remember like in the game, we were playing against Snow. I kid you not, I'm watching him, right? Because obviously I'm going to be a defensive coordinator one day, so I'm trying to take notes while the game is happening.
Right.
So I'm peeping in.
Always learning.
It's like it was a very like specific situation. Like it was backed up, third and I think it was like 3rd and 7+, bro. And they went ace. I think they went ace. So 2 receivers, 2 in the dot, 2 in the backfield, shot formation, right? And we went, I think we started off in man, then last minute he went to like cover 3 or something like that, changed the call. Cause like I kid you not, bro, for 3 or 4 straight plays, he didn't look at his play call sheet not one time. Like he just knows what to call just like that.
It's just instinctual at that point.
Like, I asked him, I said, Black, how do you do this? Like, how do you know what call to call? He's like, bro, Well, he didn't say bro, but he was like, he was like, well, listen, you know, he talks, well, listen, man, I just trust my gut. I'm like, bro, what?
You got to. You got
like,
to.
where's the technique?
Yeah. I think you do a lot of your first couple years learning something, whatever it is. In this case, specifically football. Your first couple years, you kind of have to make everything conscious. Like you have to learn everything and break it down in detail and make things conscious and talk about things and learn things on a different level. But then as you grow and you have to start making decisions, it kind of starts to become unconscious, I think, where it becomes it becomes very instinct based. You're not necessarily thinking or over analyzing because you just don't have time. Simply, the play clock is 25 seconds. By the time the ball gets lined up, you really don't have time to consider or think about all the different things in your head. You kind of just have to make a snap decision, and that snap decision is based on a lot of the things that were made conscious when you learned it in the first place, and all the experiences you have. But really, it's you're not thinking a ton. You're just instinctually calling a play, which is what I kind of see from him, and that's what I've learned a lot from him.
And the crazy thing is, bro, it's just like playing.
It is. Yeah,
you start
exactly.
off like overthinking.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's second nature.
Same thing. Yeah. Because when you first start playing and you first get to college or you first learn a new playbook, it has to be very conscious where you're on the field. You're thinking a lot. You maybe can't go make educated guesses about when to jump a play or when to go try to make a big play. You kind of just have to do your job. But as you start to understand things and things become very natural and things become unconscious, that unconscious competence that you get to, when it gets to that point, that's when you can start making plays and be very instinctual, and that's when you are at your highest level.
Yeah, and once you hit that flow state, it's game over.
Game over.
Wraps.
Yeah.
And as I watch, Ohio State, Caleb Downs' dog, they run that three high safety, right? And what I kind of learned through Coach Finney is he's basically, in a way, he's a free player. Yes, he owns the middle of the.
Are you talking about the middle safety in 3-3-5?
Yeah, in the 3-3-5. Yeah.
We played that defense at UNI.
And he's kind of like a free player, bro.
Yeah.
Like me and Finney call it run on demand. Like you see, or third on demand. Like you're in your third. If you see pass, if not, go trigger.
Yeah, and what I remember how they taught it at UNI was, as far as the linebackers go, that safety is kind of the third linebacker, and the linebackers don't really have like a specific gap they have to go to. They just kind of follow the flow of the play, and then the safety fits off them. So there's not necessarily like a specific place you have to go to, but you just feel out where it is, and that's where those instincts come in.
Yeah, and some players are like that, where bro, it's not all X's and O's. Just go play football, and that's where I think at Iowa Western, some players are like that, bro. Like you can't overcoach them. You got to keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Some players, hey, bro, go play football.
It's harder to do for the smart players.
It is.
It's harder. It's harder for guys that are smart and want to play smart to get them to dumb it down a little bit and play a little bit unconscious, as you call it, like play without thinking too much. It's hard. I think it's harder for those type of players. But when they can get to that point where they can play unconscious, that's when they can play really well.
Yeah, and I cannot wait, bro. I've been itching. I've been fiending for this upcoming season, fall camp coming up, bro, to see how these players are gonna come in and eat. Right? There's a bunch of food. Come get you some, Chris.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, man. Look, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah,
thanks for hopping on the show.
Thanks for having me on the show, man.
Jake, thanks for taking over the first 10 minutes.
Shout out to Jake.
All right, we will see you later.
All right.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast,